Good evening. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Sunday, October 19th. Welcome to our Sunday edition of our Leadership Development Call. My name is Miriam Kareem, and I'm so happy to have you all here so we can learn how to grow our businesses and really just dig in and get the work done. A quick trip from the Newbie Corner. I was listening to Coach Will's book, the the one that's on PDF. Yeah. I can't. The title is skipping my brain right now. The million dollar business book. What's the title? Y'all help me out. But that book. So I was listening to it today. I try to get it, listen to it every morning. And one thing that stuck out to me was yes, making your first million at thank you in network marketing. I have some background noise, so please excuse that. But one thing that struck out to me was focusing on people, the wrong type of people, when you should be focusing on those who want to reach out, want to ask for information, want to know, want to be on calls, want information, want to learn, versus the ones you have to chase and make sure they're on the call, or make sure that they're reading what they're supposed to be reading, or make sure that they're, show up to the meetings that you schedule with them that helps them build their businesses. Work with the willing and not the unwilling. That's just my tip for today. And I was looking at some people today that I have been, trying to hold a torch. And you can't hold the torch. You can hold the torch, but you have to put the torch down and let the torch burn. If it burn out, it burn out. If it don't, then maybe spark back up, whatever. But work with the willing. So that's my message. So that being said, I'd like to introduce you all to our teacher tonight, Coach Will Manders. He is a multiple seven-figure earner in the network marketing world. Sorry, we make it too much noise from here. Sorry, Mary. I'm sorry. He's a multiple seven-figure earner in the network marketing world, a seven-figure earner at our Green Organics company at HBN, and our first six-figure earner over at Goldasana. An amazing teacher, always knows how to get your business to where it needs to be. So, Coach Will Zanders, are you available, sir?
I'm available, Miriam. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind introduction. And I know I'm gonna have background noise too. I was traveling this weekend, headed back home shortly, and but definitely wanted to make sure that we had time to get the call. The only downside about traveling at all is that sometimes you may have some good signal and you may not, but we were able to get it done. So I want to thank you and Coach Marcus, and thank everybody for their patience. And hopefully we'll be able to deliver some information tonight that makes it worth the wait. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll try to get this one done relatively soon, but we'll see. I don't want the time delay to really affect the information. What we want to open up with very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, January 11th through the 13th in Las Vegas, Nevada, 2026 is going to be our next boot camp. Tickets, online tickets anyway. Online tickets are available at $97. I was talking to a friend of mine a little bit earlier, who I used to mentor in personal development and coaching, who worked with us for a little while. Way back when I started network marketing, and he ended up taking the wisdom of the ages, success principles, the power of the subconscious mind, things of that nature that we teach, color personality types. And he went and started his own traditional business in construction. And he is doing his first live event. I said, man, you got to start doing some live events. So he starts, it's going to be his first live event. He's going to be doing it in Florida, not too far from where we're at. He's okay, I'm doing it. He is charging $997 per ticket for that particular event, and it is already sold out. The reason I tell you that story is because when I talked to him earlier, the things that he'll be covering in his teaching to other people who are in the construction industry, he is going to be covering 60% of the material is what we teach. 60% of that is just exactly what we taught. 20% of it is going to be his own spin on it because he is in a different industry at this point. And then his guest speakers that he's bringing in are doing the other 20%, which will be a relatively small fraction of what the training is. So the reason I tell you that story is because there are sold-out events happening all around the country, all around the world, with people who teach either from us, and most are not from us, obviously, but some are, and people are teaching the exact same information we teach and charging anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, if not more, to get the same information that you get for free, and sometimes at a very small charge at an event. So don't take it for granted. I know a lot of people got $40 early bird tickets, and sometimes when we pay for stuff and we just do not understand the value of what we have until we no longer have it. And I hate to tell you, it's going to come a time when we're either not doing these type of trainings anymore, and you'll have to just hope that you got as much as you could from the YouTube channels and whatnot, but they won't always be that price forever because we do have to keep up with the time. So like I'm telling you, it is more than 10 times the value on the information. I really don't care if you come or not. I know the people that are going to be successful always end up at the events. And again, those tickets are available right now, at least for the online ones. If you are online with the online ticket and you want to attend in person, you will automatically be added to the wait list. And it's going to be first come, first serve. If you have not purchased an online ticket, you're not on the wait list. So if and when the in-person tickets show up, you probably won't get one of those. So don't waste your money going to Vegas if you know you can't get in the door. All right. So that being said, let's move on. I wish I could see all the comments and stuff, but this phone stuff is weird, but it's better than nothing. So we're going to start off with some recognition. We're going to be doing this at the opening of our Sunday calls for the next couple of weeks, talking about our Ageless Athletes Fitness Challenge, which is really, really special. People are doing amazing. And we're going to open up with the individual team awards for the week. And so make sure that you're on and congratulate these folks if you know them. If they're on the call, been working on this stuff for, oh my gosh, just so many hours have gone into this, but I'm so grateful and so happy to everybody who's participating. So we'll start off with the top 3 participants of the week. These individuals really showed up for their teams in a lot of different areas. And I know because the team captains have been communicating with me about who's doing what and who's really showing up and showing out. And they sent in all the individual point totals. So we know who has perfect scores and who doesn't. So I won't get all into the selection process, but just know your captains are all supporting and pushing for y'all to be great. And these are not in any particular order. Our 3 top participants of the week were Gina Wilson. Gina Wilson is from the High Vibe Tribe. That is a team. I think that's Rhonda Peterson is the captain of that team, I think. Gina had a flawless week. She anchored her team. She had 29 points, which is a perfect score for this week. So congratulations to Gina. Kalila Abdul Mamin from the Determinators. I believe that is Katrina King's team with the perfect score out of the Chicago area. Kalila had 29, and she helped her team really get off to a great start. We'll be giving the team scores a little bit later. Patricia Banks Owens, our 3rd winner. Patricia Owens, that is the Rasan's other half on team Built for This. That's Rasan Owens is the captain of that team. She had 29 points, very consistent, steady encouragement across team threads. And of course, if your wife isn't supportive and helping you out, it's going to be hard to be a leader. I can tell you that personally. I'm so blessed, so grateful to have MJ in my life. And I know Rasan is super grateful to have, Patricia in his life. So I wish I could see all the great comments, but I can't. But those are our top 3 participants of the week. Our captain of the week is going to be Rhonda Peterson from the High Vibe Tribe. We'll talk more about their team in a minute. But she's done really well. She's been very coachable and teachable. She's got some great veteran leadership on that team, but is still taking her leadership role very, very seriously and, not dependent on everybody to get it done. So Rhonda's done great. Her team did incredible too. And we'll talk more about that. Our co-captains for the week, we had a tie for co-captain of the week. Co-captain number 1, Twyla Guy Wilson from team is Built for This. Rasan's the captain, but Twyla had an amazing week. And also Doug Wagner from the Diligent Conquerors team. I believe Terrell Thrasher is the captain of that team. And Doug had not only a perfect score, Twyla had a perfect score too. And they both, as co-captains, has outstanding leadership, clear reporting, and the numbers got to me on time. Everything was crisp and clear. So I know that captains didn't have a hard job working with them. So I want to thank them for leading the way. And now we are going to get into the actual reports for the teams, all right, for the teams. And let me just do a quick check-in. Marcus and Miriam, can you unmute for a second and make sure that y'all can just tell me if you can still hear me okay? If we're good?
Yes, we can hear you.
You're good.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so now we're getting into it. These Ageless Athletes final reports. I'm going to post these, by the way, in the group. But I wanted to make sure that we get them announced and let everybody know how that's going. These dates are from Friday, the 10th of October to Thursday, October 16th. Hopefully everybody already knows the points. I'm not going to go through all of that stuff yet. And we're going to go through the team total point totals right now, and then we're going to tell you how that works. So as far as a point total, that is part of the weighted algorithm average, okay? The number of, how many points your team scores is very important, but it is not the only factor in the algorithm. So just understand, when I read out these team point totals, the team with the highest points is not necessarily the team that wins the week. So I'll tell you that as well. But right now, as far as total points, the 8th ranked team with 172 points was Moore's Willpower Warriors. That's Tiara Moore's team. The team in 7th place with 183 points was the Diligent Conquerors. Terrell Thrasher is the captain of that team. The team that came in 6th place is Built for This with 193 points. The Determinators came in 5th with 194 points. 4th is Team Stronger Together with 199 points. And then the top 3 teams all had over 200 points. The Pounds Down Posse came in 3rd with 201 points. And then we had a very tight race for total points, with the 2nd place team being Renewed and Restored. So the Pounds Down Posse is with 201 points is Miriam Kareem's team. She's the captain. Stronger Together is Missy McCallum's team, 199 points there. Renewed and Restored with 226 points has the 2nd highest point total for the week. That's Jessica Hill's team. And then the High Vibe Tribe with Rhonda Peterson's team, 230 total points. So there was not a big difference between 5th and 6th place. That was just 1 point that separated that. And also with the top teams, 4 points separated 1st and 2nd. But that is just the points. And I want to tell you, I won't talk about this on every Sunday call, but I just have to explain it kind of now so that we can do it a lot quicker on the calls in the future, because we're so big on recognition and we'll be doing more stuff like this. But before we get into the training for this evening, but the next totals that I'm going to give you is called a weighted algorithm average. And that is going to be a number that is determined by the team's total points, the total number of people on the team, be it big or small. It won't hurt you if you have a smaller team, won't help you if you have a bigger team. The total number of people on the team who had perfect scores. Again, it's all weighted. The total number of people on the team who got a bonus point for water and things of that nature. So it's 4 or 5 different factors that are going to go into that. And so now I'm going to give you the teams. These are technically the winning teams for this particular week, and we'll do it again next week. And captains, if you have any questions about this stuff, anything at all, just reach out to me directly in the captain's chat, and we will get those questions answered for you. Don't sweat it. Just know that now the numbers you're tracking right now, the new numbers, are going to be from February, October 17th through Thursday, October 23rd. And then captains, you'll turn those numbers in on Friday, October 24th. All right. But that being said, let's dive into the actual winning numbers for this week based on the weighted algorithm average. In 8th place, we have More Willpower Warriors with a 24.57 average. Okay. 7th, we have Team Stronger Together with a 24.88 average. So the two teams, they were separated by less than a point. So every single point matters. I don't ever want you to think that, oh, I can slack today. I don't have to get my water in today. You're letting your team down and you didn't even know it. So fight hard for every single point. Even 1 point can push your average up. In 6th place, we have Jessica Hill's team, Team Renewed and Restored with 25.11. So 25.11 is their weighted algorithm average. And don't worry, I'll post all the stuff in the group. In 5th place, the Pounds Down Posse, very respectable showing, also with 25 points, but they had 25.13 was their weighted algorithm average. And then in 4th place, this was a surprise, they had 230 points, but as far as weighted algorithm average, the High Vibe Tribe had a 25.56. So the team with the most points, they also have a larger team, but their weighted algorithm average, when you take everything into consideration, was good enough for 4th place, very respectable. And before we get into the top 3, because I know everybody wants to know, just notice that the teams in 4th, 5th, and 6th place all had 25 points as far as their weighted algorithm average, but the High Vibe Tribe had 25.56. The Pounds Down Posse had 25.13, and Renewed and Restored had 25.11. Now, really think about that. That is a very, very, very tight race. And if you got people on your team that aren't even getting up to 20 points, whew, that 1 point is going to hurt y'all a lot. So you got to work together. You got to work hard and make the magic happen. Okay. Top three teams in third place: Diligent Conquerors, 26.14 weighted algorithm average score. Well done, Terrell Thrasher's team, with a good showing in its first leadership in the industry exercise. Number 2, team Built for This. Rasan Owens, the captain of that team. Their team had a 27.57 weighted algorithm average. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, the Determinators, led by Katrina King. Those individuals had a 27.71 algorithm average. Well done. And so notice the top 2 teams were separated by less than a point. It was a 27.71 and a 27.57. So man, you gotta, it is a big, big deal putting that work in. So everybody, it all matters. It all mattered, to be quite frank, and it will continue to matter as we work hard to get in the best shape of our life. All right, so that being said, let's dive in to some training for the evening. Miriam and Marcus, if you have any comments we need to address or anything like that, please just unmute and let me know. I'm out here flying blind, and I got another Zoom to do after this one, so we'll definitely finish this one on time no matter what. And yeah, we just gonna make it work with the technology we got. So thank y'all. All right, so we want to talk a little bit tonight about the reality of network marketing, the reality of your ability to recruit, the reality of your ability to build teams. And in fact, if you stick around to the end, the reality of your ability to build teams overseas and to see what that's really about. You know, if you really want to get into that, tonight's going to be a very, very valuable call for you. Very valuable call. Thousands of dollars of information will be given on this call tonight, for sure, for sure. Now, your first point, your prospects, if you see prospects as hard to recruit, they will be hard to recruit. If you see your business as fun and simple and abundant, it will become that way. The better you see your business, okay, the better it'll be. If you see your prospects as hard to, oh, nobody wants to hear about this stuff, this, that, or that. And remember, these are conversations that could be taking place subconsciously. These are conversations that could be taking place consciously. Either way, if you see prospects as hard to recruit, they will be. All right. If a person believes that everybody is broke, skeptical, if there's a recession, nobody has money, can't afford to do anything at all, trust and believe, that belief is going to program the field. That belief is going to program exactly what they're getting into and how their business works. I've seen it a million times, and so have you, even if you haven't noticed it. But when a person radiates certainty, when they radiate confidence, when they radiate certainty that I'm not going to quit, I'm going to get this done, I'm not going to leave to another company when times get hard just so I can go start over again. I'm going to realize that the real issue, the real X factor, the real thing that makes it go is me. It's always going to be you. It's always been that way since the beginning of time. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Period. Okay, period. That's how it works. Doug Wagner didn't go from a 3X to a 2X to an XL, okay, by not believing in himself and not believing he would. Okay, he did it because he believed in himself, and then he took actions that merit the belief that he believed in himself and he would achieve his goals. Okay, so here's a pro tip. Before every call, before every event, before every follow-up, ask yourself, what energy or what perception do I want to inject into this conversation? Because whatever you project is going to be what you attract. This is why on these calls, you can find people who can copy everything I say word for word. They will not get the results if they were to do the exact same thing I would do, and they'll call me. They wonder why. They just get frustrated, can't figure it out. Because you can regurgitate anything. I mean, even a baby can regurgitate, right? You can regurgitate anything you hear, but you can only reproduce what you are. You see, you can only reproduce what you are. So you have to become it before you have it. And that's a bar. I want to write that one down. Next point. Your words are and always will be carriers of belief. And not just the words you say, but the tone You see, the tone is part of the frequency. The tone is part of the vibration, like music. There's a tone to certain music. There's a tone of what you say, and people say, well, it really wasn't what you said, it was how you said it. I didn't like that. Okay, I understand. Because the tone was not sufficient, or I mean, it may have been appropriate depending on what's going on, but y'all know how it is. Every grown folk has had that conversation where you're talking with your people, talking with your family, talking with friends, talking with some enemies. You never know. And sometimes it's not so much what you said, but how you said it. Okay? Your tone matters when you're talking to prospects, even over messenger or text. It's more valuable in person, but even electronically, okay? Digitally even. A weak tone will project doubt and uncertainty. A confident tone, confident energy, even prior to you hitting send on the message, will transfer certainty, and the certainty is going to be what recruits. All right? Now, I was still under point 2. Listen, adversity does not stop you. Adversity simply exposes your frequency. It just exposes kind of where you at with everything. If you ready to throw in the towel and pack it up, move on and ship out when things get weird, you wasn't never really built for it. You really was not built for it. Just doesn't work for you. But adversity was actually a blessing for you because it showed you really wasn't hard like you thought you was, honestly. And so it's a blessing. So you can get up out of here, man. Go find something else to do. You know, go sell hammers at the flea market. This industry ain't for the weak. And the rewards are so good, though. It doesn't even, I'll talk about the rewards a little bit later, all right? Now, remember, every time you tell your story, it's not just the facts that close people. It's not just the facts. The facts matter, but it's not just the facts. It's your frequency of conviction. All right, understand that. Third point for the night. Your subconscious program. We talked about this last week. We talked about it a week before. We talk about it at least once or twice every year, okay? Your team's subconscious, their core beliefs are going to be programmed by a combination of your emotion, but also your explanation. And it's going to be more emotion than explanation, I hate to tell you. Yeah, it's just the way that people learn, not on purpose, okay? The best coaches in sports are going to be coaches who really have a combination of skill and education and know what they're doing, but they're also very passionate. They're very excited. They bring a lot of emotional conviction and vision to what they're doing. So you can actually write that down. As a leader, I will need to bring emotional conviction and vision as well as skill to my team. If I want to be a great leader, I will need to bring emotional conviction. Notice I didn't say emotional whining. I didn't say whining, oh, well, so-and-so is a real emotional leader. Yeah, I know, but they whine all the time, like a large baby. You're going to encounter those type of men and women in this industry all the time. So we didn't say emotional whine. We didn't just say emotional. We didn't say emotional whining. We didn't say emotional complaining. We didn't say emotional blaming. We didn't say none of that. We said emotional conviction and vision in addition to the skills. Your team will mirror that energy. But Will, I got some people on my team that are scrubs. I know I'm not bringing that scrub energy, but they really scrubs, man. They really giving me a hard time. They give me the blues. They will fall off. They will quit, or they will fall off, or they may turn their life around, but I doubt it. But they will quit. They will blame you. They will blame the company. They will try to take as many people to the other company, a new company, as they can. It won't work, but they will try. It's been that way since the beginning of network marketing. It's okay. Don't even worry about it. I promise you, it's not a big deal. You didn't need them anyway. All right. Next, we're still on point 3 though, talking about your subconscious mind. Now, before your team call, if you're doing leadership calls, before your prospecting call, before you 3-way, if you're still doing 3-ways, anything like that, before your home meeting, before you send a text, before you make the post, listen, this is a huge tip. Emotionally anchor your belief in the company, the products, yourself, the pay plan, right? The industry. Emotionally anchor your belief before you hit post, before you hit send. You may have to play some music. You may have to look at a couple of pictures from the last 2 or 3 events you went to and enjoy those vacations, but emotionally anchor your belief in the core areas before the call, before the training, before you hit send, before you hit post, before you respond to the DM. And that vibration right there, if everybody on this call was to do two things, but that's one of them. If you did that one thing, I'll tell you another one a little bit later. If you did that, that vibration will program your team's belief structure faster than any slide or statistic or script that me or Marcus or anybody else could ever give you. That one thing is a game changer. Okay, game changer. That's worth the grand right there. All right, because it'll make. Why is it worth the grand, Will? Because it'll make you more than it costs. If I charge you $1,000 for that one tip to emotionally anchor your belief in the company, the products, the industry, yourself, the pay plan before you hit send or post anything else, if you really did that and you really taught that, it would make you far more than $1,000 it costs you. But y'all be getting a free game and you really don't appreciate it, but that's the nature of human beings. I can only hope for your sake that one day you evolve past that. Not so you appreciate the leadership at the company and the things that we do and bring for you and the sacrifices we make, but because I know if you're taking us for granted, you're probably taking your spouses for granted. If you're taking us for granted, you are probably taking your parents for granted if they're still alive. If you are taking us for granted, you've probably taken your job for granted and your health care for granted. You've probably taken your kids for granted. And there are people that woke up and kids didn't wake up today, and y'all just so. I tell you that because I want you to not take for granted all of the things that you have. That gratitude right there, okay? Next up, point 4, all right? This is the second thing. So if you just did that first part with programming your belief set before you do the call or the meeting or the recruiting or the prospecting, you know, here's the second thing, that if your team just did this, it would explode your whole team faster than anything else we could do, all right? This 4th point. You cannot build a 6-figure team until you see yourself who already leads one, okay? So the thing you need to start doing is visualization. And I didn't understand visualization until I read a book that was written by Michael Jordan's personal trainer, Tim Grover. And he said one of the things that Michael Jordan did more than any other athlete, and probably in the history of the world, was visualization. So in network marketing, if you really want to explode, you add that first step and then you add the second step that I'm giving you right now. Each morning, visualize a team member thanking you for changing their life. That's it. That's the emotional scene, not walking across the stage. That'll all happen if you have enough people thanking them for changing their life. You got enough people thanking, oh my God, Coach, thank you so much. You know, thank you so much. I was able to get out of debt. I was able to buy a house. I was able to buy a car. I was able to change my whole thing. If you visualize just any team member, their team member might not even be there yet. But if you visualize them early in the morning, just visualize thanking you for changing their life. That emotional scene will reprogram your subconscious into the frequency of leadership reality. And you got to understand that. And it's important to do it early in the morning. We already got so much stuff to do in the morning. We got to read books in the morning. We have to read Our Perfect Day in the morning. Yes, you have to do all of that in the morning. Here's something else you got to do. Yes, you're right. You do have to visualize. Okay, I'm sorry, but you do. All right. So here's the formula. Visualization plus emotional certainty. Emotional certainty. Visualization plus emotional certainty equals duplication acceleration. Because when you teach that, your team is going to duplicate that same effort. Okay, they're going to duplicate the exact same thing that you do. All right, that's how it works. 5th point. All right, imposter syndrome, inferiority complex. Okay, this is all under the 5th point. All right, I don't want you to feel less than anybody ever. Okay. And a lot of times it's not that people are trying to make you feel small. You do it to yourself a lot of times. A lot of times you do it to yourself. We've all been there at least once. We've all done it. Okay? Feeling less than a top earner is going to create a vibration of separation. And that's the death of duplication. I'll say it again. Feeling less than a top earner is going to create a vibration of separation. That is going to be the death of duplication. All right? Your prospects are not going to expect perfection. They're not going to follow perfection. They know perfection in humans anyway. Perfection in humans does not exist. All right? You're not going to earn perfection in leadership. It simply doesn't exist. You have to just embody it. Do the best that you can. Do your very best. And your very best will always be enough. But I can tell you, What a lot of people say, oh man, I did my best, that is not leadership level best. Leadership level best is not what a lot of people think it is, and it is reflected in their paycheck, but that is a different conversation. Okay, point 6. Old habits. Now, understand that your old frequency or your old habits, the way you used to get down, the stuff you used to do, okay, the people you used to associate with, the type of conversations and gossip that you used to indulge in, the type of conversations you used to entertain, please understand that frequency, that mindset, that built the income that you already got. Okay, so if you're happy with what you got, and I don't know anybody and we're happy, we're grateful, we're joyful, but we want more, or we definitely want more. But the old habits are that's what built the income you already got. Like and here's the scary part, for some of you who are employed because of your job paying you a salary, you've been able to get away with having those type of just petty, just low vibration type conversations and mindsets and old habits. You've been able to get away with it for a long time because you had a job or you have a job. So you can get away with it. But when you get into network marketing, you like, man, I've succeeded at everything else I've ever done. No, you got a job. You got a job that paid you a salary, that's a contract. So even if you sucked at it, they'd still pay you probably, right? Even if you weren't good, they'd probably just pay you because you're better than the next person. It costs more to replace you and train somebody new. But the point is, that's how you made the money you made. It wasn't because you were this great dynamic individual that worked on their skills and mindsets and did personal development. You had a job. Okay? But when you come into network marketing and you're like, man, why am I network marketing team? I'm the man at work. I'm the woman at work. I don't really know. You are a man at work. You are a woman at work. I don't really know if you're the man. I don't really know what level you at work. But when you come to network marketing, trust and believe, we're going to see what you're really made out of over here. We're going to really see. We are really going to see if you really are who you said you were. We're going to find out. Network marketing will put a flashlight on every great thing you ever thought about yourself and every negative thing that you denied, even though people told you was real. That's network marketing. It's the great exposer. But if you up for the challenge and you up for that level of transparency, you up for that level of vulnerability, you up for that keep what you kill mindset. What you mean? I got to help myself. I got to help people in order to help myself. I got to learn how to work with people. I got to learn how to set boundaries. What? I got to actually get healthy. I can't just be faking the funk. Yeah. You got to do all of that. You got to do all of that. See, if you have that new emotional mindset, that new frequency, you'll be rolling. Now, this is what's going to happen. Last tip, move on to some fun stuff. Okay, got about 10 minutes left. Got to finish on time. Every time you have a rejection or a slow volume week or something happens and you get triggered to go back into your old frequency, your old habits, your old conversations, your old blaming paradigms, trust and believe it's trying to pull you back. Because the old you don't want to die. It don't want to die. Okay? Some of y'all need it. I don't know who, somebody needed that. All right. And if you haven't already got it, if you go to my YouTube channel, I uploaded a day or two ago my favorite version of the mental diet. And it is a 7-day mental exercise that can quite frankly change your life. We're doing that over in the private personal development group. We're doing that over there. All right. Point number 7. In duplication, there's no me. The letters M and E, me, do not exist in the word duplication, okay? The moment you separate yourself as, I'm so much better, or I'm so different, duplication is going to break because you're going to be a leader. You're going to be doing great. You're really going to be the man, like we just talked about. You really could be. But if you start doing things that are unique to you, you will understand that's how it is. There is no ME. There is no me in duplication. All right. So the moment you separate yourself as different or better, duplication breaks. All right. So see your team, at least the people who want to be coached, as one organism. Okay. Every conversation, training, or chat is the nervous system. It's your nervous system. Hey now, your nervous system. Hello. Your nervous system delivering belief or doubt. Okay, that's how that works. So after every no, you got to stay confident. After every no, you affirm. They didn't reject me. They didn't reject me. They rejected a version of themselves that they are not ready to be yet. That's deep. I'm going to say it again. When people tell you no to your products or they tell you no to the business, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting a version of themselves that isn't ready yet. They're telling you in their own way, no, I do not want to be 30 pounds lighter right now, because you know the products work. I don't want to be 30 pounds lighter right now. Not that way. Okay. I don't want to make more money right now. I don't want to be that version of myself that looks better and feels better. Not yet. Okay. That's going to keep your vibration high, and that's going to keep your posture unshakable. Unshakable. Okay. Well, let's move on to some fun stuff. We'll talk about launching MLM in other countries. We'll try to get this done in 5 minutes, all right, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. I get a lot of questions from people who say, and I hope that stuff, I would say put a 1 in the chat if the information we just gave you made sense. I can't see it anyway, so hopefully Mary and Marcus can let me know if that was valuable. If people got value from that, I have no idea, all right? Now, I do get questions, and been getting a lot more questions from people who say, hey, coach, I got somebody in another country who wants to join. Now, listen, or somebody in the other country who wants to buy. Listen, that's exciting. But that is exactly where 90% of network marketers get excited. And then that is where 90% of network marketers get it wrong. All right? Launching a network marketing in a new country is something that it really sounds sexy until you realize how much strategy it takes, how much belief it takes, how much patience it takes, how much leadership it takes. All right? So we're going to talk about, as fast as I can, the 10 rules of international expansion so you can do it right the first time if you want to do it at all. Rule number 1, local leadership or don't launch. All right? If you don't have local leadership on the ground, don't even think about launching in another country. I've launched successful teams in Italy, Taiwan, Korea, South Korea, and I know Korea, South Korea, the UK, France, you name it, different countries in Africa, Canada's booming, Australia's still booming right now. We probably have at least 5 or 6 different countries under the Green Organics umbrella. It was just my team. I can't speak for everybody, but just on my team that are doing very well. We got 6-figure earners in several of those other countries. Not at least 2 or 3 of the other foreign countries got 6-figure earners. Some countries like Canada and Taiwan have multiple 6-figure earners in those countries. So I can tell you, if you don't have local leadership on the ground, okay, that's a ambulance, all right. I'm just, okay, it's going to be on the side of the road doing what I do, I guess. So if you don't have local leadership on the ground, please do not think about launching. Just don't. And I say local leadership, listen, a rep is not the same as a leader. A rep orders products. Yeah, you can get a customer overseas, okay. That's cool. That's not going to launch a team, okay? A leader on the ground, boots on the ground leadership. Let me tell you what a leader is in another country. They're going to navigate customs, because customs is a thing. They are going to navigate the fees and the tariffs. That is a real thing. They're going to navigate the language barriers, if there is one, and they're going to navigate the cultural nuances, which there will be, okay? They are going to protect your investment, and they are going to build duplication locally. You will not manage a new market through a WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger alone. You must have boots on the ground, period. Rule number 2, launching another country will cost you more than you think. Okay, launching in another country always costs more time, money, energy, effort. It just does. Every international leader I've ever coached has underestimated it, including me. We have all underestimated it at least once. Okay, so plan for, if your auto ship is 100-some BV and you trying to launch over there, you're going to have to send them some samples probably. And if they don't get there, well, you know, if the samples don't get there because of the shipping, well, now you know. But you can't expect that person on the other side to deal with all of that. Okay, you got to plan for a slightly larger budget, like double the budget. You got to plan for triple the patience. Oh my gosh. You got to plan for quadruple the communication. Just understand, it will always cost you more than you think. All right, rule number 3, 80% of US-based network marketing teams or leaders they fail. Okay, when they try to expand in other countries, they fail. All right. Statistically, most U.S.-based network marketers that try to expand internationally do not last. It's not because the company's bad. It's not because it's not. It's not because the company's bad. It's because they assume that what works in Kansas City will work in Kenya. It won't. Different economies, different countries, different payment systems, different postal services, different belief structures are going to make international duplication a whole different sport. You got to understand that first, and most network marketing reps don't, which is why they try to launch and they fail 80% of the time. All right, rule number 4. The farther and more culturally different the country, the harder the launch. Okay, launching a network marketing company in Canada or the UK or France or Spain even, it's going to be relatively easy, but it's easier in Canada because a lot of people in Canada speak English. It's easier in France because a lot of people in France speak French, but they speak English. And the culture is going to be similar to America. They got the Olympics, they got some sports teams, but you try to launch a network marketing company in Rwanda, okay, that is going to be very, very difficult. Okay, Rwanda is not the country in Africa that you're going to be launching network marketing companies in from New York. It's possible, but it's going to be harder. So the rule number 4 is basically this. The farther the country, for US-based network marketers, the farther the country is away from US soil and the more culturally different it is from the US, the more difficult the launch becomes. And this is why a lot of leaders are going to start with bridge countries first. Okay, my first foreign country that I worked in was actually, I think somewhere in the UK. I think it was England. Okay, yeah, Birmingham, England. It was in England. It was a bridge country. It was a country where they spoke English. The logistics and the culture of the US all had overlap. So that's what I worked with. Yes, I know it's time for my next Zoom, but it was my fault with technology that I was late for this one. So they go get it set up and they got to wait. Just, hey, it's okay. We're going to get the work done over here, y'all. Don't worry. Not putting y'all second to nobody. All right. Rule number 5. If the product can't get there, it doesn't matter. It's not that it doesn't matter if the product can't get there. If the product can't get there, it doesn't matter. Okay? If the products cannot clear customs, it's game over. Just stop. Cut your losses. You're not launching in that country. Get over it. If the products cannot clear customs, it's over. Okay? If the products can clear customs, even if they arrive, your rep has to pay the tariffs and the import fees. That's standard everywhere. A casual rep or a customer will complain. They'll be like, oh, I went to the post office. I had to pay extra. So they told me, because I was from America, I had products coming from America, that I must have had money. So they tried to get me to pay them $20 to give me my product. Like crazy stuff happens. Sometimes it's just tariffs. Whatever it is, you can't control it, but it's always a thing. Now, that's what a rep or a customer will say, which is why a lot of people get people ready to do a business, but they can't because they don't have any serious leadership on the ground. A serious leader will say, hey, I paid the tariffs. It is what it is. I paid the customs. It is what it is. That's just the cost of doing business. That's the difference between a customer and a country builder. You got to have somebody with that attitude. And like I said, it's always going to cost you more. Sometimes if the person's serious enough and you see the potential, you might have to send them $20. I remember I had to send a team member in Ghana. We were launching a team in Ghana many, many years ago. And 2 of them are actually still purchasing products with us today. It's not really building active anymore because it was a different company back then. But they did eventually purchase some products with HBM. But here's the point. I remember one of the leaders on that team, our local leader, I had to send them $40 in Western Union. I didn't have to do it, but I knew that if I wanted to launch a country, it's going to cost me more in time, money, energy, and effort than I thought. I had to send them $40. I didn't have to, but I did, on Western Union, because that's how they got their money back then in Ghana. And I sent them to Western Union, and they had to take a $20 in U.S. money, which is a ton of money in Ghanaian currency, and they had to give that to the person at the post office just so they would give them their products. That's real. That's how it really be sometime in countries. Y'all got to understand, it's real, okay? If the product can't get there, it don't matter. And I'm not saying do that. I'm just telling you the level of leadership you got to be willing to be at if you want to launch a country. Rule number 6, if they can't get paid, it's pointless. If commissions cannot flow into the country, nobody will build. Sometimes as a local leader, they got to understand creative payment methods. You got to understand, sometimes the commissions got to go to you or PayQuicker, and you got to use MoneyGram or you got to use Western Union to pay them until you get it figured out. That type of resourcefulness is weird, but it will separate amateurs from empire builders. And remember, you're not going to get scammed by anybody. You got the commissions, but if the commissions are coming to you because the PayQuicker card got sent to your house and they set it up with a U.S. bank, however you got to do it, you got to get creative sometimes. Sometimes they're going to trust you for that money to come to you, and then you got to send it to them until they get it figured out and until the company is doing enough volume there to get everything set up. You know what I mean? It takes it. Yeah, you got to pay the taxes on that money too if you go that route. So you got to be careful. All right. But if they can't get paid, it's pointless. Don't even worry about it. Okay. Rule number 7, doing business is not the same as being registered. All right. Just because a company like GoToSign or any network marketing company or HBN ships to a country, it doesn't mean we're officially registered there. All right. Most network marketing companies are going to wait until there's significant sales volume of orders going there before they're going to pay the legal and logistical cost for full registration. So don't panic. If Green Organics is not licensed or officially registered in that particular form, we're not registered, I can't build there. You can ship product there and the local leader will understand how to build. Okay, and if the company is not there, look, your job as a pioneer is to take the risks, go to work, and create the volume that makes it worth it for the company to get registered there because they don't want to get kicked out of that country. Like we're licensed and registered to do business in Taiwan. We weren't always, but the company doesn't want to risk doing that type of volume, that amount of orders in the post office looking and going, who are all these products and orders coming from? We don't even know who this country is. We about to ban their products. It happens all the time. So if you're going to do it right. And you put enough volume there, the company will take care of the rest. Rule number 8, patience is a virtue. Launching a network marketing company in a foreign country will take you more time than you think. 70% of reps in network marketing quit within a couple months or a year anyway. So when you hear people say, you know, I got a guy in India that really want to build the business, you got to look at that rep dead in the eye and say 70% of network marketers are they're not even going to be at the company in a year. What are you talking about? It's going to take you at least a year to get everything dialed in to launch this country, Indonesia, India, Taiwan, Pakistan. It's going to take time. So I don't get excited when I hear that because they probably don't know that they don't know these 10 rules that you're getting right now. Because if they knew the 10 rules, they probably wouldn't even try to start the company there. But if they do, I know they know what they're signing up for, so they may be successful. Like with the Taiwan team, it took 6 months to even get the websites translated into Mandarin Chinese. We didn't have ChatGPT back then. It just wasn't easy like that. It took 6 months to get all of the product stuff translated into Mandarin Chinese for them. I had to do Zooms every morning at 7 a.m. Every morning. Y'all know I hate waking up early. I had to do Zooms every morning at 7 a.m. with a translator to talk about the product, do option presentations. You know how long it takes to do a presentation as fast as I be talking? And a slang that I use with a translator to translate this to prospects in Taiwan, okay? And after that, it took another 4 to 6 months for them to get their strategy modified so they could build, because the way they build is slightly different than here, okay? So about a year after the initial enrollment with Mr. Lin, it really started to pay off. But I can tell you, just from that one team so far, it's over $600,000 in commissions. So was it worth it? Sure. Over $600,000 from just one team, one leg of business? Yeah, I can tell you it's worth it. It's worth it. That's over $100,000 a year. So I didn't make any money from them my first year with the company, but years 2 through 5, I've made over $125,000, $130,000 a year from that one team. So is it worth it? Sure. All right, but was it hard? Very. All right, so just understand that patience is a virtue. It may take you a year, okay? And I knew what I was doing, so it might take you a little longer, but it's still worth it, you know? That's all I can tell you. Rule number 9, keep the main thing the main thing. For every network marketer who launches a successful international team, there's at least 100 people who enrolled a customer in one foreign country who didn't build anything. And that 1 out of 100, we always built local teams first. Okay, that's the reality. We always built the local team first. Do you have a local team built in your local area? If you don't have a team of 8 to 10 people in your local area, 25 people in your local area, you probably don't need to be investing time, money, energy, effort in building in another country. Because if you can't build a team of 8 to 10 solid people, and if you include customers, maybe 25 total, you can't build a team of 25 people in your local area. How many people live in your city? 500,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people. You can't build a team of 8 to 10 people that are builders and 25 customers in your local city. And they speak your language. You don't even have to drive far. I mean, they the same, they look like you, right? If you can't build a team of 8 to 10 people in your city, your state, it is highly unlikely that you are going to build a team 10,000 miles away. I'm going to just be frank. That is rule 9. Please understand that. If you can get some products overseas and people like the products, you get some customers, that's great. But if you can't focus on your local market and build an effective team within 50 miles of your house, you can't fly 50,000 miles away. You're gonna fly over 75,000. You're gonna fly over 300,000 qualified prospects trying to figure out. You're gonna send a text message or a message to somebody 1,700 countries away when you didn't even send a message or call or a drop card or something to somebody 17 minutes from your house. That's not smart. It's not smart. Okay? It's not smart. Rule number 10. I know everything I told you is very difficult, quite frank, but rule number 10, if you make it work, it's worth it. And if a rep truly understands the previous 9 rules, you understand that you got to have leadership over there. You got to, between the two of y'all got to handle logistics and tariffs and create some real volume. And if you understand all of that, I just told you how hard it's going to be, and you still determined to do it, it is 1,000% worth it. Because when the country truly opens and you have your first team there, it's going to explode. It'll explode, and then your legacy becomes international. Okay, that 80 to 95% failure rate and all that time, money, energy, and effort you spent, it will look like a bad dream that you forgot compared to the freedom that you created. Okay. So just understand that conceptual. So that's what we got tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give y'all a closing thought. As we close, I mean, we're already late on next Zoom, no way. So okay, let me give you a closing thought. With Taiwan, it took, after they got it figured out, I'm gonna tell you, it took about 4 to 6 months to get their strategy modified culturally. And Miriam and Marcus, could y'all do me a favor, just check in the comments, seeing if we have any in the chat, any comments that we need to address, anything like that as we wrap up.
Yeah, we're
now. Oh, good. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. So the way that they modified their strategy was they refused, and to this day, they have never, and I mean never, ordered anything other than a 100 BV order. I've never seen a 99 BV order from the Taiwan team. I've never seen a 110 BV order. I've never seen one. I've never seen the 25 BV order, never seen 300 BV order. I've only seen exactly 100 BV orders, and I've only seen auto ship. I have never seen anything other than 100 BV order on auto ship. That's part of their system. They don't even teach their teams that anything else is possible. Now, Will, why do they do that? I had to ask them. They said, Will, you don't understand our culture here. Okay? And this is from the translator, but just understand, they have a democratic free society, but they live within China. China is a communist country, and China would, at any given point, could decide to militarily just come take over Taiwan again. Just understand that. So they're under threat of communist rule taking them over. So that's really part of their pitch. Okay? Stop playing around. Because if they can get their business solid, if they need to leave, they can go to the United States. They can go to Canada. They can go to South Korea. They can go somewhere free. If their country is about to come under communist rule, okay? Because they talk about it over here, but they don't be serious about none of that stuff. That's not really right. Over there, it's serious. It's real, and they talk to each other with the level of real. They don't need nothing but they neighbors. And they explain to them, this is our plan for the safety and greatness of our family. If we want to leave, we want to be able to leave. We're going to need about $5,000 to $10,000 a month. We're going to spend about 2.5. We're going to save about 10 or 6 or 7. And we going to have it popping and we going to be safe so that if ABC happens, we can get up out of here. Some of you do not understand the political climate, for better or worse. Some of you are woefully ignorant of the political climate, for better or for worse, globally, not necessarily in the United States or not, but globally. If you really understood the business you have and the opportunities for freedom and safety it can provide you, if you ever needed it, I can assure you, you would take it way more seriously. And you can channel all that whining and complaining and fear mongering that a lot of people do. You can channel that into some freedom and safety. Okay, that's what this opportunity can do for you. Anybody can sponsor a rep in another country, but only a leader can build a nation. Global expansion is not about luck. It's about leadership, logistics, and long-term vision. You want to launch internationally, you don't just look for signups, you look for generals. And the first general that you need to find is the one in the mirror. All right? So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for your time. I'm sorry we ran a little bit long on that, but I will definitely, we'll do better tomorrow. I'll be back home in a day or so. And we will definitely back to our good old Wi-Fi, good old streaming and whatnot. So y'all have a good night. God bless. Miriam, thank you so much for hosting. Coach Marcus, thank you for putting this Zoom. And let me go hop over there, and I'm sure we'll have another team upset that I'm late. So y'all have a good night. Love y'all. We'll see you on the next one.